2 CFR 200 is not something a small nonprofit should try to memorize on day one. Think of it as the operating map behind many federal grants. It covers administrative requirements, cost principles, and audit requirements. The practical question is simpler. What habits help a small team manage an award without losing control? Start with the actual award terms. 2 CFR 200 gives the government-wide framework, but your notice of award, program rules, agency guidance, and special conditions tell you what applies to this grant. A small team should read the award packet first, then use the regulation to understand why those terms matter. The first tool is a one-page compliance map. Put the project period, budget categories, reporting due dates, payment method, match requirement, key contacts, and approval triggers on one page. This is not fancy compliance theater. It is how a busy executive director, bookkeeper, and program leads stay aligned before the first invoice arrives. Section 200.302 is the financial management anchor. In plain English, your records need to identify the source and use of federal funds. That means award by award tracking, support for every charge, and budget to actual visibility. If you cannot trace a dollar from award to expense to receipt, fix the system before spending more. Internal control sounds abstract, but Section 200.303 makes it very practical. Decide who can approve spending, who records it, who reviews it, and how sensitive information is protected. For a tiny staff, this may be a simple checklist and board treasurer review, not a giant manual. The fastest allowability test is 4 questions. Is the cost necessary for the award? Is it reasonable for the work? Is it allocable to this project, not just useful to the organization? And is it documented? Section 200.403 lists more details, but these 4 questions catch many problems early. Some problems start with a well-meaning shortcut. The team moves money, changes the scope, buys equipment, or starts pre-award work because the program needs it. Sometimes that is allowed. Sometimes it needs prior written approval. Build the habit of asking before the change, not after the audit. Procurement is another place where small teams get surprised. The core idea is not complicated. Use a written process, avoid conflicts of interest, seek competition when required, and keep enough records to explain the method, vendor choice, and price. The paper trail is what proves the purchase was handled fairly. Compliance is not only accounting. 2 CFR 200 also expects recipients to monitor performance and report on the work. Do not wait until the final report to discover that nobody tracked attendance, service units, milestones, or outcomes. Build the report fields into weekly program habits. If another organization helps carry out part of the federal program, pause before calling it a vendor. Subrecipient relationships bring monitoring responsibilities. Contractor relationships bring procurement responsibilities. The label affects risk, records, and follow-up. Small teams should decide this early and document the reasoning. Record retention is easy to underestimate. Section 200.334 sets a 3-year baseline from submission of the final financial report, with important exceptions for litigation, claims, audits, written extensions, property records, and some program income. The practical move is simple. Do not clean out the grant folder when the project ends. Closeout is not a last week scramble. Section 200.344 says recipients generally submit final financial, performance, and other required reports within 120 days after the period of performance. Subrecipients often have shorter timelines. Start reconciling costs, deliverables, property, and open obligations before the award clock runs out. For a small team, start with 5 files. 1. The award terms and contacts. 2. The budget ledger. 3. An approval log for changes and unusual costs. 4. A report calendar. 5. An evidence folder for receipts, timesheets, procurement notes, participant records, and performance data. That is enough to make the rules operational. You do not need to panic rate every section before managing a small award. Use your award as the filter. If you are buying services, read procurement. If you are paying staff, read compensation and documentation. If you are working with partners, read subrecipient rules. And when a requirement is unclear, ask the funder before acting. The bottom line is this: 2 CFR 200 becomes manageable when you turn it into habits. Track funds clearly. Separate roles where you can. Test costs before charging them. Get approvals before major changes. Document as you go. This is the grant briefing. Find the funds, read the rules, and write stronger grants.